This story, again, is about what happens if you step on those creepy stairs in the woods. And you guys, I'm going to go ahead and get it going. We got people waiting. We're a little behind, so we'll go ahead and take
Sounds
off
good.
here. And this is going to be told in kind of I'm going to be reading from the individual that shared this story. So, okay, so me and my friend Sam went to Michigan together on a hiking trip. When you pull up, you see a lodge. When you hike to the campsite, it's a very woodsy part of Michigan. The trail is like 10 feet wide, and then around you is pretty much all woods. There are park guides that take you to the lodge to the campsite. You're allowed to spread out because everyone is on the same trail, but everybody's within a couple miles of each other. That's how the size of this is. There's always a park ranger following along, sometimes in the distance because of the size of the park and the amount of people. We're technically with a lot of people, but it's just me and Sam. The lining of the trees on the side of the trail are like really, really dense. You couldn't see a deer if it was 10 feet in front of you. I look off to the right and there's a gap in the trees. I see a staircase 100 yards into the woods. It sticks out completely. It's so out of place. It looks like it got plucked up with a mansion. It looks like something you were building, like a Sims house. You chose this staircase, but then you put the staircase there, then you deleted the rest of the house. But at the top, it just stopped. It doesn't really go anywhere. It's like 10 feet high, then nothing, which is so weird. Sam and I look at each other. We didn't see the park ranger around, but we decided, hey, let's go check these stairs out. So we started walking towards it, and the closer we get to it, the more eerie things start to feel. I started to get the feeling that this isn't like your local forest preserve. We're in the middle of deep woods, like we're on a long nature adventure or something. Then you see something so clearly man-made out here, it sticks out, it's weird. Why is it here? The stairs were glowing as if it's trying to attract me. I started getting intrusive thoughts. Everything in my head is saying, go up these stairs. I run up and just hop on the first step. I have my hand on the railing and both of my feet on the first step. This is where things start to get weird. The second I got onto it, it almost felt like it had a light little vibration to it. I felt it on my feet, this vibrating, and on my hands, they were tingling a bit. I'm like laughing and giggling like, oh, this is really weird. While I'm inspecting the staircase, it has carpet on the stairs. The railings are white. The carpets are blue, like a royal blue. And there's no debris. There's not a leaf, not a sprinkle of dirt, not any bugs or leaves or anything on it. Strange. It's almost starts to feel like a trap. Part of my head is saying, keep going to the top. And then before I climb to the top of the stairs, I look back at my friend Sam. He's looking at me like he's horrified. He's looking at me like something is wrong with me, like I'm clearly in distress. Then I look back at the top and I'm thinking, should I go to the top? Sam then grabs me by the hood and he yanks me off the stairs really, really hard. Next thing I know, I'm on the ground laying face up. He immediately comes up to me and says, are you okay? Yeah, dude, why did you pull me so hard? He asked me again, are you sure you're okay? I replied, what are you talking about? And this is when the conversation turned weird. I thought I was on there giggling and having a good time, and he told me it seemed like I was actually standing there having a standing seizure. I don't remember that because my perspective is I was laughing and the staircase is vibrating, and I'm having a decent time just really trying to figure out what it is because we have this immaculate staircase in the middle of the woods. And he says my eyes are actually rolling to the back of my head and I'm having a seizure. So he yanked me off as soon as he started to realize that I was having a seizure. He said no more than a few seconds passed. Honestly, I felt completely fine, no type of side effect or whatever. He helped me to my feet and asked if I'm okay to walk and if he needed to go get help. And I told him, I'm fine and absolutely do not need help. And let's get out of here. We hustled back to the trail and nobody's around. It's all good. We talked about it for a little bit, but I have to convince him that I'm actually fine to continue on and head back to the campsite. We finished up the hike, and when we got back to the campsite, everybody's there. It's all good. Nobody noticed anything or saw anything. Nothing dispersing going on. There's food being made. It's been a long hike. Everybody's tired. While we're finishing up eating and everybody else is dispersing, I see the park ranger looking at me with concern. I was debating with Sam if I should tell the ranger what happened. Sam thought I should tell him, but honestly, I felt too embarrassed. Sam goes up to the tent and I decided to go to the bathroom before heading to the tent. After using the bathroom and on my way to the tent, the park ranger stops me. He kind of looks pissed off. He looks me in the face, looks me right in the eyes, and he says, please tell me you didn't touch the stairs. He repeats it again. Please tell me you didn't touch those stairs. I told him I didn't break anything and I didn't mess with them because I'm thinking maybe they are like a national landmark or something important. He said, "It's not about the stairs. I don't care that you damaged them. Did anything happen to you?" I started to think he was concerned about my health. I tried to downplay it, and I told him, "My body threw a little bit of a fit," my friend said. But I'm fine now. I'm fine. Because I'm thinking he's wondering, do I have this guy who's a liability on my campsite? He seems upset that I'm okay. He then tells me if something didn't happen to you, something's going to happen to someone else. I thought, that's weird. That's not where I thought he was going to take this. He starts guilting me, telling me there are women and children here. So if something didn't happen to you, something might happen to them. I can tell by the way this guy is talking that he is absolutely positive that something horrible is going to happen because I touched the stairs.
I started pressing him because I'm wondering why you're acting like the stairs are so ominous. I started asking, why would you take us on this hike by this dangerous staircase? He explains a little bit, kind of like I should be in the know about these stairs. He starts saying stuff like they pop up randomly and suddenly. I'm thinking this guy is absolutely tripping. He's making things up. He's trying to talk to me about touching this random staircase, make it seem like something horrible is going to happen. I leave this weirdo by himself because I'm going to go to bed. I want to try to enjoy this trip for the rest of the time we're here. The next day, we have a great time. The campsite's got a great lake. We're spending time in the water. Nothing weird is happening. Everything's completely okay. In my head, that guy was tripping. He's super weird. We're fine. By the end of the day, I had completely forgotten about what happened. Sam's over it, and we go to sleep because obviously when you're camping, you're spending so much time and energy outside. You're exhausted. So we hit the hay. It's early the next morning when we hear something outside our tent. Maybe around 4 a.m. The sun's about an hour from coming up. We hear this ruckus sound outside, someone crying. We take a look, and it's this young boy. We're like, what's going on here? We all got out of our tents, and there's already people around him. From what we could hear from people talking, his mom is gone, his tent is gone, and all their belongings are gone. They start questioning this kid, and they're like, where's your mom? This little kid just points towards the trees. Apparently, this kid's mom packed up all their stuff, went out on her own hike in the middle of the night. I'm thinking this is, mom of the year material here. Why would someone do that? We formed a search party. Everybody's coming together like, all right, we're going to go look for this lady. As we're walking towards the big group that's going on the search, the park ranger walks by me and Sam, and he says some slick comment to me saying, you better hope we find her, because if we don't, it's on you. At this point, I'm pretty pissed because this strange guy, this really weird guy, is telling me about these mythical stairs, and now he's trying to blame me for this mom packing up her stuff and leaving in the middle of the night. Sam asks, why would he say something like that to you? Which I get his confusion. Why would somebody blame somebody for getting up and leaving in the middle of the night on me? So I filled him in on the mythology of these staircases this park ranger had told me. Sam's face is expressing to me that he believes the ranger and not me. I was being a little sarcastic about it, but Sam seemed pretty serious. He tells me, I think we should probably check by the stairs. So luckily, the search party is kind of directed towards the area anyways, because we don't think this lady's going to go very far off the trail. So they're like, all right, maybe she went back to the lodge. Maybe she was done with the campsite. There's no sign of her. We didn't see anything at first. We're walking down the trail that we came in. But once we get to the clearing, this lady is sitting cross-legged exactly where the stairs were. At this point, I'm a little freaked out. But I'm also like, of course she's sitting there. Like, is she in on this as well? Like, what's going on here? Why is this lady sitting cross-legged exactly where the stairs were, and the stairs aren't there anymore? Then my mind starts going, Like, why am I in this weird situation? Where is this weird park ranger? Are they in cahoots with each other? Is something deranged going on? Is this person crazy? Me and Sam jog up to her. There's already people next to her by this point, and as we're approaching her, I see that her clothes are tattered. Mind you, she's only been gone like an hour and a half tops, and her clothes are all tattered. She looks like she got dragged through the forest. She looks like Bear Grylls after a week in Siberia by himself eating earthworms. She looks sleep deprived. She looks like she hasn't had food or water in a while. Her eyes are giving like a psychosis kind of look to it. We get up to her and people are already asking her questions. One lady's like, "What happened? Are you okay?" And she's just rocking back and forth. She says, "What took you guys so long?" And the guide that's there, he says, "Don't worry, it's only been like an hour. You need something to drink and you're safe now." And she just starts mumbling, "It's been days. It's been days." Right then I thought, okay, is she crazy? They're still questioning her, but she's not even answering their questions at this point. She's just kind of talking and mumbling to herself. I caught a few sentences as she mumbled out. It told me you'd come. It told me I'd be safe by the stairs. Are you kidding me? It told me you'd come. It told me I'd be safe by the stairs. The stairs aren't even here. How does she even know that there were stairs here? At this point, I'm starting to believe the park ranger. I start to feel guilty about this. Am I the reason this woman is in this deranged fit, sitting here in this clearing? The reality of the situation is starting to hit me, and we get this lady up. We have to take her back to the campsite because we can't take her to the lodge. We can't take her to the hospital. We have to get back to the campsite where everyone else is, and that's where her kid is.
All right, so that's the end of part one. Let's unpack what we just went through here. So they went camping. Sam and his friend went camping in Michigan on a hiking trip, and not their first hike out into the woods. They see this staircase, perfectly pristine staircase. Some reason he feels like he needs to go touch the stairs. He's getting this feeling, it's attracting him. It seems to be glowing even. He runs up, steps on the first step. His friend Sam pulls him off. He's like, "Why the heck did you pull me off so hard? What's going on?" He said, "You're having a seizure." But to him, he just felt like he was almost having this outer body experience with his vibrations and just a weird sense of feeling. As they're going back, the park ranger somehow, he tells the park ranger about this, and the park ranger is very upset that he stepped on the steps. And at first he's confused, thinking like, why is this guy so upset that I stepped on these steps? Like, is this a national landmark? Are these steps important? Are they significant? He says, "I'm not worried about the steps. It's something didn't happen to you. Something happened to somebody else." As we get into part two of this story, as we got on the second part of part one, we discovered that the next morning, early morning, they found out, I think it was before the sunrise, that one of the campers there was missing. It was a child's mom was missing. They went into the woods, and this is where I don't want to mix it up, Jack. They found her where the steps were.
That's right. Yeah.
But they weren't there now.
The steps are not there.
What was she saying? She was saying some weird things about this.
Yeah, she's saying, it took forever to find her. It took several days to find her, even though it was only about an hour or so. She was saying that something told her to wait by the steps and that they'd be safe there. And she looked like, she was just been dragged around. And
been in the woods for days.
Been in the woods for days, ragged, tired, and hungry.
In reality, she's only been in the woods for a few hours at tops, and she wasn't actually that far into the woods, right?
No, not from where they were, because they had just gotten there from campsite.
So that's where we left off here. We'll get into part two here in a minute, but what's your guys' feelings here when you first read through part one of this?
I think that people are acting pretty rational, if you see some steps in the woods, you'd be very tempted to be like, well, I want to go get up on those steps. I want to check those out.
Unless you heard about this being a thing in multiple different places like we have before. And so, this does make sense for them to do this, as he said. And also, I feel like even the ranger, even though he's kind of scared of this happening, he wasn't too aggressive with how he handled the situation. He was just like, "Did you do this? Just tell me right now. That way we know what's going on next." And so I thought this is kind of like Jack said, pretty rational reactions by everybody so far.
You put yourself in the person's shoes that had this happen to him, though, and it probably seems like the ranger's acting a little bit odd that he's so worried about these stairs.
Yeah.
But the size of the woods and the amount of people there, the ranger couldn't be everywhere at once, so therefore he didn't able to stop that. But I guess that's something. Do you bring that up beforehand, or is that actually going to make somebody step on the stairs? You know?
Yeah, it would definitely, increase the temptation. But also, I do wonder, well, rather not wonder, but it does seem to line up with what most park rangers or search and rescue teams say is it's like, just kind of leave the stairs alone. They don't really get into it too much. So